Hi children, how are you all? I hope you all are fit and fine. Okay, now we are going to start this chemistry class. The continuation we are going on. In the previous class itself, we have seen what is the molar specific heat, what is the standard heat of formation, okay, what are the basics of thermodynamics. All those things we have seen in the previous classes, okay. Rest of the lesson today we are going to see. I hope you are doing the assignments, okay. I have given 20 questions, okay. I hoping you are doing it well, okay. Study well and mark the questions, study well and write it in your assignment. Take your own time, okay children. Don't waste a single time. Time is very precious as I have told you already, okay. Right, let's start, okay. Now we are going to see about the measurement of delta U and delta H using the calorimetry. Okay, what is delta U? That is the internal energy. Okay, in the previous class itself you have seen what is internal energy, what is enthalpy. Okay, you have seen the relationship between enthalpy and internal energy also. Right, we are going to measure the internal energy and measure the enthalpy using calorimetry. Okay, right. So calorimeter is used for measuring the amount of heat change in a chemical or physical change. Okay, calorimeter is used for measuring the amount of heat change. Okay, so in calorimetry the temperature change in the process is measured. Okay, in calorimetry, the temperature change in the process is measured. So, which is inversely proportional to the heat change, which is inversely proportional to the heat change. So, by using the expression C is equal to Q by M delta T, we can calculate the amount of heat change in the process. Okay. We can calculate the amount of heat change in the process. Okay, so calorimetric measurements are made under two different conditions. Okay, calorimetric measurements are made under two different conditions. First of all, at constant volume and at constant pressure. Okay, at constant volume and constant pressure. Okay, right. So this constant pressure calorimetry in an open air vessel, okay, that measures the delta H, which is more common. Okay, so this reaction takes place in a bath solution. This reaction takes place in a bath solution. Okay, so expansion and contraction can occur. So W, okay, may not be 0. So for any instant, for any constant pressure, this process, the heat, okay, heat is equal to delta H. So heat is gain, okay, that is measured as the temperature change in the bath solution. So this heat transfer to the calorimeter itself, that is accounted as the calculated heat. Okay, so calorimeter is used for measuring the amount of heat change in a chemical or a physical change. Okay, in calorimetry the temperature change in the process is measured, which is inversely proportional to the heat change. Okay, so ஒரு processல எவ்வளவு heat change ஏற்பட்டிருக்குங்கிறத measure பண்றதுக்கு calorimeter நம்ம யூஸ் பண்றோம். is used for measuring the amount of heat change. Okay, by the expression C is equal to Q by M delta T. So calorimetric measurements, okay, that is made under different conditions. First of all, at constant volume, okay, and at constant pressure. Okay, first of all, what is, we are going to measure delta U, measurements of internal energy, measurement of change in internal energy. Okay, so for chemical reactions, okay, that is heat evolved at the constant volume, okay, that is measured in a bomb calorimeter. Okay, for chemical reactions, heat evolved at constant volume, that is measured in a bomb calorimeter. Okay, so the inner vessel and its cover are made of a strong steel. Okay, the inner vessel and its cover are made of strong steel. So the cover is fitted tightly to the vessel by means of metal-laden screws. Okay, let us see about the calorimeter. Okay, first வந்து constant volumeல வச்சு பண்றாங்க, next constant pressureல வச்சு measure பண்றாங்க. எதை measure பண்றாங்க? internal energy. Okay, internal energy. So constant volume, okay, internal energy கண்டுபிடிக்கிறதுக்கு constant volumeல வச்சு பண்றாங்க. அதுவே what that H, that enthalpy கண்டுபிடிக்கிறதுக்கு constant pressure வச்சு பண்றாங்க. அதுக்கு வந்து coffee calorimeter, coffee cup calorimeter யூஸ் பண்றாங்க. இதுக்கு bomb calorimeter யூஸ் பண்றாங்க. Okay children, do you understand? Right? Okay. Next, what is this bomb calorimeter? Okay, see here, you are seeing the bomb calorimeter. Okay, so it is having the inner vessel. Okay, as you are seeing, it is having the inner vessel. That inner vessel is called as bomb. Okay, இன்னர்ல ஒரு வெசல் இருக்கா அதுதான் பாம்ப் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். And its cover are made up of a strong steel. So the cover is fitted tightly to the vessel by means of metal lid and screws. Okay, the cover is fitted tightly to the vessel by means of metal lid and screws. Okay, so the weighed amount of the substance, okay, is taken in a platinum cup that is connected with the electrical wires for striking an arc instantly to kindle the combustion. Okay, the amount of substance, okay, that is taken in a platinum cup. There is a sample cup, isn't it? There is a sample cup, and the sample cup is made up of platinum. That is a platinum cup, okay, that is connected with electrical wires. That platinum cup is connected with electrical wires as you are seeing in the picture. Okay, right. So this electrical wires, that is for striking an arc that is instantly to kindle the combustion. Okay, for combustion kindling, this electrical wires are used. Now the bomb is then tightly closed and pressurized with excess oxygen. Okay, the bomb is then tightly closed and pressurized with excess oxygen. Now the bomb is immersed in water. The bomb is immersed in water in the inner volume of the calorimeter. Okay, the bomb is immersed in water in the inner volume of the calorimeter. A stirrer is placed in the space between the wall of the calorimeter and the bomb so that water can be stirred uniformly. So the reaction is started by striking the substance through electrical heating. Okay, there is a stirrer as you are seeing in the picture, that there is a motorized stirrer. Okay, there is a motorized stirrer. Okay, in the left hand side you are seeing a stirrer that is used for rotating. Okay, a stirrer is placed in the space between the wall of the calorimeter and the bomb. Okay, stirrer is placed in the space between the wall of the calorimeter and the bomb so that water can be stirred uniformly. So the reaction is started by striking the substance through electrical heating. Okay, the reaction is started by striking the substance through electrical heating. Okay, a known amount of combustible substance is burnt in oxygen in the bomb. Okay, a known amount of combustible substance is burnt in oxygen in the bomb. So heat is evolved during the reaction. That is absorbed by the calorimeter. So evlo heat evolve ஆயிருக்கு, evlo heat absorb ஆயிருக்கு. Okay, the heat change, okay, that is absorbed by the calorimeter as well as water in which the bomb is immersed. Okay, so the change in temperature is measured using a Beckmann thermometer. Okay, the change in temperature is measured using a Beckmann thermometer. So since the bomb is sealed, its volume does not change and hence the heat measurements is equal to the heat of combustion at a constant volume. Okay, heat of combustion at a constant volume. Okay, now the amount of heat that is produced in the reaction is equal to the sum of the heat absorbed by the calorimeter and the water. Amount of heat produced in the reaction, that is equal to the sum of the heat absorbed by the calorimeter and the water. So heat absorbed by the calorimeter, okay, that is Q equal to K into delta T, where K is a calorimeter constant. Okay, K is a calorimeter constant. Okay, so calorimeter constant can be determined by burning a known mass of a standard sample for which the heat of combustion is known. So the enthalpy of combustion at constant pressure of the substance is calculated from the certain, there is an equation, that is delta Hc equal to delta U naught C plus delta N GRT. Okay, so this is the bomb calorimeter. Okay, and where are this bomb calorimeter used? Okay, you may have idea where are this bomb calorimeter used. Okay, so this bomb calorimeter is used to determine the amount of heat released in the combustion reaction. Okay, in certain industries, combustion takes place, isn't it? So for the combustion reaction, this bomb calorimeter is used to determine the amount of heat. Okay, bomb calorimeter is used to determine the amount of heat that is released in the combustion reaction, and it is used to determine the calorific value of food. Next, this bomb calorimeter is used in many industries such as metabolic study, food processing, explosive testing, etc. Okay, bomb calorimeter is used in many industries for metabolic study, food processing, explosive testing, etc. Okay, it is used to determine the calorific value of a food. Okay, so these are the applications of bomb calorimeter. Next, for measuring del H, that is the enthalpy change. Okay, for measuring enthalpy, coffee cup calorimeter is used. Okay, as you are seeing in the picture, this is the coffee cup calorimeter. Okay, so heat change at a constant pressure. Okay, heat change at constant pressure can be measured using a coffee cup calorimeter. Okay, heat change at constant pressure can be measured using a coffee cup calorimeter. Okay, it is a schematic representation of a coffee cup calorimeter. It's a given. So instead of a bomb, okay, that is a inner vessel. Okay, instead of a bomb, here a styrofoam cup is used in this calorimeter. Styrofoam cup. Okay, styrofoam cup. The cup used here is styrofoam cup. Or inner vessel madri irukudha, that is a styrofoam cup. Okay, instead of that bomb, we are using here styrofoam cup. It acts as a good adiabatic wall, okay, and does not allow transfer of heat that is produced during the reaction of its surroundings. Okay, so this entire heat energy is absorbed by the water inside the cup. Okay, this entire heat energy is absorbed by the water inside the cup. So this method can be used for the reactions. Okay, so where there is no appreciable change in volume. So this method can be used for reactions where there is no appreciable change in volume. So the change in the temperature of water is measured and used to calculate the amount of heat that has been absorbed or amount of heat that has been evolved in the reaction using the expression that is Q equal to mWCW delta T, where M is the molar mass, C is the molar heat capacity of water. Okay, so this is the coffee cup calorimeter. Okay, and what are the applications? Okay, it is used for calculation of heat formation, calculation of heat formation, calculation of calorific value of the food, calculating the calorific value of the fuels. Okay, so calorific value is defined as the amount of heat that is produced in calories when 1 gram of substance is completely burnt. When 1 gram of substance is completely burnt. Okay. Next, what is heat of a solution? So, heat of a solution is the amount of heat energy absorbed or amount of heat energy released, that is endothermic or exothermic, when a specific amount of solute dissolves in a solvent. Okay, specific amount of solute dissolves in a solvent. Okay, so molar heat of solution is the amount of energy absorbed or released per 1 mole of a solute. So heat changes are usually observed when a substance is dissolved in a solvent. So ஒரு substance இருக்கு, அதை வந்து ஒரு solventல நம்ம dissolve பண்ணும்போது, ஓகே, ஒரு liquid எடுத்துக்கோங்க, வாட்டர்ல உப்பை நம்ம dissolve பண்றோமா, so அந்த டைம்ல அந்த மாதிரி, this is an example, that's all. Okay, so substance NaOH எடுத்திருக்காங்க, NH4NO3, ammonium nitrate, sodium hydroxide, potassium nitrate, hydrochloric acid. So இதெல்லாம் dissolve பண்றாங்க ஒரு solventல. So அந்த டைம்ல நடக்கக்கூடிய அந்த heat changes. So the heat of a solution is defined as the change in enthalpy when 1 mole of a substance is dissolved in a specific quantity of solvent at a given temperature. Okay, do you understood? Right. Next, heat of neutralization. Okay, heat of neutralization. So the heat of neutralization is defined as the change in enthalpy when 1 gram equivalent of an acid is completely neutralized by 1 gram equivalent of a base, or vice versa in a dilute solution. So the heat of neutralization of a strong acid and a strong base is around, irrespective of nature of acid or base used, which is evident from the examples. Okay, that H plus OH, that gives H2O. So the neutralization, positive and negative. So the all the neutral அப்படினா என்ன, positive plus positive negative ரெண்டுமே இருந்துச்சா, that is equal, there is a no charge, that is a neutralization. So all neutralization process can be presented by the equation. So heat of neutralization for strong acid and strong alkali is same. So heat of neutralization of weak acid and strong alkali is less than minus 57 kilojoule mole inverse. Heat of neutralization of for a weak acid and a weak alkali is much lesser. So this is the heat of neutralization. Okay, do you understand? Next, that is heat of vaporization. Okay, so this the molar heat of vaporization is defined as the change in enthalpy. Change in enthalpy when 1 mole of liquid is converted into a vapor state at its boiling point. At its boiling point. So to vaporize a liquid, okay, that means to change its change it from the liquid state to the vapor state or a gas state. So this process requires energy because the molecules must be freed from the liquid state. So condensing a gas to a liquid is the reverse of vaporizing. So it requires that energy be removed from the gas so that the molecules can cluster together instead of flying away from each other. So the heat of transformation for these phase changes is called the heat of vaporization. Okay, the heat of transformation for these phase changes is called the heat of vaporization. Okay, so to vaporize a liquid means to change the change it from the liquid state to a vapor state. So this process requires energy because the molecules must be freed from the liquid state. Okay, right? Next, molar heat of sublimation. So what is molar heat of sublimation? So molar heat of sublimation, okay, that is delta H. So it is a process. Sublimation is a process you may have learnt in your childhood days. So sublimation is a process when the solid changes to vapor state. Okay, solid when the vapor convert on the state. So that is a process without changing a liquid state. So it will not change to a liquid state. Solid directly changes to gaseous state. Okay, solid and the liquid, liquid and the gas kadayadu, solid and the direct gas state without changing to liquid state. So this molar heat of sublimation is defined as the change in enthalpy. Okay, when 1 mole of a solid is directly converted into vapor state at its sublimation temperature. Okay, so for example, the heat of sublimation of iodine. Okay, iodine may be represented as I2. That gives I2. Okay, at the temperature 373 Kelvin. So temperature increase pandrom. So another example of sublimation process is solid carbon dioxide to a gas at atmospheric pressure at a very low temperature. Okay, you understood? Next, what is Hess law? Okay, Hess law of constant heat summation. So we have already seen that the heat changes in the chemical reactions are equal to the difference in internal energy or heat content of the products and the reactants. Okay, that is depending upon whether the reaction is studied at a constant volume or a constant pressure. Since the internal energy, change in internal energy, change in enthalpy are functions of the state of the system. Okay, so the heat evolved or the heat observed in a given reaction that depends only on the initial state and the final state of the system and not on the path or the steps by which the change takes place. Okay, so this generalization is called the Hess law. Okay, this generalization is called Hess law. So the heat of a reaction or the enthalpy change in the chemical reaction, okay, that depend upon the initial state of the reaction and the final state of the product. Okay, that is independent of the path function depend pannadu. Okay, so the heat of the reaction is same when it carried in a single step or a series of a step. Okay, so it is a state function. So Hess law is a state function. Okay, so the enthalpy change of a reaction, okay, either the constant volume or a constant pressure, okay, that is same whether it takes place in a single step or in a multiplied step, that is provided the initial and final states are same. Okay, now what are the applications of Hess law? So Hess law can be applied to calculate enthalpies of the reactions, okay, that are difficult to measure. Hess law can be applied to calculate enthalpies of reactions that are difficult to measure. So for example, it is very difficult to measure the heat of combustion of graphite to give the pure carbon monoxide. Okay. However, enthalpy for the oxidation of graphite to carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide can be easily measured. Okay, and it is used for calculating the heat of the formation, calculating combustion, calculating the neutralization, ionization, etc. So to calculate the heat of reaction which may not take place normally or directly, so to calculate the heat of extremely slow or fast reactions, to calculate enthalpies of reactants and product. Okay, so these are the applications of Hess law. Okay, now that's all about Hess law. Right, next class we will see about what is lattice energy, what is Born-Haber cycle, and the need for the second law of thermodynamics. Okay, and what is third law of thermodynamics. Okay, all those things we will see in the next class. right? And your homework is one words, okay, from the topic which I have taught. Okay, today's topic, that is from page number, I will tell you, page number, right, 202, 202 to 208, that's all. Okay, so go through it, study well, okay, and write 10 one words from that topics. Okay, write 10 one words from the topic. Equations kuda neenga edhalam, the reactants, products எழுதிட்டு, sorry, reactants எழுதிட்டு what is a product, maybe products எழுதிட்டு what is a reactants, அப்படி கூட நீங்க எழுதலாம். Okay va, so go through it, study well, don't waste a single time. Okay children, and your homework is given that one word assignment na kudukla, and in the previous class la ungalku 20 to 22 questions I have given, I think, I hope. So nare assignments ungalku irukum, so you do it. Okay, day by day you do it. Okay, homework only, study well, okay children, have a nice day. Thank you.